And good morning. That's right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Mornings at Meridian. So glad you're out there tuned in to this, the two best hours of local live talk radio here in East Mississippi and West Alabama. Appreciate you checking in with us. Roger here along with Mr. Rob Atkinson. Oh, that's scary. And yet even more scarier, here's Charles Frazier.
Why is that scary? You know?
Why is that scary?
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about? Good to see you guys.
Yeah, happy Halloween.
Great to be here.
Happy Halloween. Mm-hmm. Maybe the all of the movie channels will now play something more related to
Christmas.
Hallmark
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, just watch some Hallmark movies.
We've seen enough.
They've been going since like August.
I know.
I think,
It's the same thing every time, guys. Boy meets girl. There's a conflict. Somebody lies to one another. It's different
actors.
And at the very end, something magical happens, and then it starts snowing, and they fall in love and dance and kiss. There you go. There's your Hallmark movie.
Oh,
you're welcome.
This is not funny necessarily based on the news, but watching Saturday Night Live for the first time last Saturday night for a long time. Time in a long time.
Boy, you had nothing else going on.
Yeah, really.
Well, Nate Bargatze, a great comedian. I like him. He's clean. He's just a funny guy, but and he's from up the road in Tennessee. Mm-hmm. He was hosting that night, and they had a whole skit where he was like a country guy, and he's like the town mass murderer.
Oh gosh!
That's funny.
They were going to make a movie about kind of a Hallmark mass murder movie. It was like,
is there a season for that? Apparently, we're in it now.
What channel is that on?
I guess that was they were trying to make Hallmark push them into the Hallmark spirit.
How does one celebrate such?
Instead of Hallmark Plus, is that Hallmark Minus?
Yeah,
I mean, is that
big
what channel that is? Yeah.
Yeah. He had to be there. It's one of those had to be there. It was a location, a moment. You had to be there. So glad you're out there, folks. We want you to be here by picking up that phone and calling us at 601-485-9191, 601-485-9191. That gets you right here in the show with us. And it is Halloween, so wow. Everybody got your porch lights
turned off. Definitely. Hide behind the couch. Nobody's home. Get away, you kids.
That's how we roll at our house. Don't come up here.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, my method
turn
is
it all off.
My method is to leave the light off, let them soak the windows. That way I can wash them easier on Sunday. They just kind of fix them up.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Come back on Sunday and clean them up if you would.
That's right. Can you come back and rinse them?
Part of the service. That's fantastic. I love this neighborhood.
Yeah.
No, we never get any trick or treaters. So
never do.
Never do. No, we got a long driveway, so I don't think they're.
Rob.
Oh no.
You know what we'll do tonight?
You don't know where I live. So
yeah. You know what we'll do tonight? We gotta go trick or treating. We'll go trick or treating.
Sheriff's listening.
That's all. That's a whole lot of trouble just to come down there and knock on the door and be like, "Yeah, I don't have anything. Here's a granola bar."
He gave
you
us
a piece of cheese. Bar. I mean, there you go.
It doesn't even have chocolate chips in it.
What is it, man? Cheapo.
Yeah, the windows. Clean the car while you're at it. Please.
We're just kind of out of the way too. We rarely have gotten trick or treaters at our house, so
that we turn the porch lights off. So
yeah, and let the dog out. And
right. Put the vicious dog signs around. We don't have one. But,
the dog may not want to be out tonight, though. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be a little cold tonight.
Enter at your own risk sign. Put on the post, and others have not come back. Whatever you had to put on there. Okay. I don't know, but there's some that just really get into the season, and you're going to have some fun with people coming by their house, and they're going, "Oh, look at you! Isn't that a cute little vampire? Let's just give you some candy."
I do drive past Eagle Point on the way home, and that is
that's like trick or treating central right there.
Yeah, I mean, lined up down 39. It's actually fairly dangerous. I mean, anybody driving through that, I'm sure anybody knows if they have lived in that area for any period of time. But I mean, you've got to be, you got to go about 20 miles an hour past Eagle Point or slower because there's so many people crossing the roads, kids, all that kind of stuff. And everybody ought to be aware anyway tonight of the kids out there that can't see well because they got the masks on and they're all about the candy. And
well, guys,
watch out for children.
The number one costume this year for trick-or-treaters is Barbie.
I was going to say Barbie. For the guys or the girls?
Hey, however you want to identify.
Okay. For them. Right.
So let's not leave out Ken.
Ken?
The Ken. Don't forget the Ken uniform.
So it was the year of Barbie this year.
Wow.
So there you go.
Well, that's really not really scary, though. I mean, I guess you just dress as a figure of a movie figure. I guess that's part of it. Either do something scary or
but
do a
it's
movie
like
figure.
Batman scary,
Action
or
figure.
Superman. I mean,
Yeah.
those aren't really scary.
Depends on which Batman you're talking about, because they all have a creepy voice like this.
I was
So
literally.
it
That was a little scary.
So it can
yeah.
be scary. See,
Okay,
there you go.
I remember
Rob's making it scary.
first grade. I went trick or treating. My parents, of course, they'd stand by the street, and I'd run up to the door. Well, I'm at my first grade teacher's door, and she comes there, and I'm sitting there thinking, oh, this is so cool because I have this disguise on. She doesn't know who I am. Of course, forget the fact that my parents are sitting in the driveway.
Right. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Bird, and who might you be?
Yeah.
Shows you the mind of a child.
Yes,
I'll
of
tell you
course.
what. But it's fun. It's imaginative. You get lots of candy. You get a lot of sickness after this.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, did I remember correctly that there were places that would that they would offer services to X-ray your candy after trick or treating? Is that a service that used to be provided
They
by
used
some
to do that. Yeah.
Who would do
Can
that?
you get like an MRI on it, or does it have to be an X-ray?
I think you could.
Echocardiogram?
You
I mean,
know-
what do they do to these pieces of candy?
Well, you have to go back. Right now, it's all wrapped up candy, but you go back to the day when actually they would put like apples in your bag. It's like
Yeah, but we'd always be like, I don't want the apple. Yeah. Thanks, Mrs.
fruit's
Smith.
gone.
And then, forget that.
doesn't
one.
matter if evil Mrs. Smith
Throw
put
it
a blade in
at the other
threw it
kids.
out there.
Man, I don't want that.
But in
The
some
tangerine's even worse. You know
in
what
some instances, I just remember that I guess hospitals or whatever used to like, hey, we'll X-ray your
because
candy.
of the whole, I guess, urban myth of razor blades in the apples or the fruit or anything.
needles in candy.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, was that ever? Did anybody ever really do that? I mean, if they did, it was probably
it was sick if they
very
did.
isolated incident as well. I don't think it was anything.
Yeah, just got a
running rampant.
comment here on Facebook from Tammy here. She said, talk about Eagle Point.
Yeah.
Says they will park on both sides of Highway 39.
They will.
So, be careful out there today. So
And
that's-
in the middle in some cases.
Yeah, I mean, it does get kind of dicey out there.
Yeah,
So
it
do be
does.
careful. So that's like can we deem them like the king of trick or treating out there? I mean, that community.
So
I
that's
mean,
not. So it's
It
not
would,
like
I
you-
would call it hell, to be honest. But that's just.
So people come from all around and park there to go to Eagle Point. Let's go trick or treat where the more wealthier live, whatever.
Well, I don't know if
Get
that's
bigger candy bars or something.
Yeah, I just think it's tradition, and I think every house, I believe that when you, the homeowners association requires you to, I don't know, decorate, but certainly to give out candy and to be there instead of, I mean, in New Orleans we used to go out to eat because we were in the city, and we're like, oh, forget it, we're going out, we're not hanging around here.
There you go.
Just, I don't know, it's not something that we really got into, but I think you're actually, I don't know, maybe a listener can
You just told the
verify
kids.
that.
You just told the kids, go trick or treat in New Orleans.
No.
We'll meet you back
No,
here.
no,
after
no,
we go
we're
out
all
to
going
eat.
out.
Yeah.
Go elsewhere. Maybe go to Hattiesburg. Anyway.
All right. Well, there you go. Here, not only is it Halloween, but we are now 1 week away.
Today is 1 week. Yep.
from the election. How
That's right.
about that?
That's
And
right.
So that's coming up. So we have some guests coming on that are going to be talking about their candidacy for office.
Yeah, coming up in just a few minutes, we're going to have Jesse Coachill Jr. Of course, he's running for District 1 Justice Court Judge. He'll be in that race next Tuesday, so we'll have him on a little after 7:30. And then tomorrow, we'll have his opponent, Nick Lisi, on at 7:30. Of course, he's the Republican nominee. And then Wayne McNeil, the incumbent in District 2 for Supervisor, will be on the show tomorrow at 8. So we got a handful of candidates coming in before the end of the week. So, yeah, we're exactly 1 week away. And, folks, don't go to the schools to vote.
Oh. Where do we go?
I
I'm
thought that's where
confused.
our precinct had
Hold
been
on
changed.
a minute. I just voted at the school. You're telling me not to vote at the school now.
What?
I
You
don't
mean we
get
got to
it
vote at the
anymore.
school this time?
Where am I voting? What is
That-
going on
That
around
was
here?
cruel. That was
I
cruel.
know.
I love, but I love it. But
I
I
should
love
be
it.
ashamed of myself, but I'm not. So there you go. So go to your regular precinct this time.
Not
How
at
about
school.
that?
All right, you're regular.
If you go to the school, they're probably going to escort you out of there. So
And rest you. You never know. Free trip downtown.
Well, now, while we're talking about voting, you folks have gotten out there and you've listened to us here on the show, and you have voted for Purvis Business Machines as your business machine supplier.
Well, I think everybody's voted for them because they are the place to get a business machine. In fact, they've got lease return color copiers. You can save up to 85% on those. 85%?
Those
Which
lease
means your
returns,
lease
yeah.
return, gently used. it means you're paying 15% of retail. Can't do that in anything anywhere that I know of. Do you know of anything like
No,
that?
I don't know of anything
Nope,
like
that's
that.
the only one I know of, and that's Purvis Business Machines. They've got them right there. Go check them out online, gopurvis.com. Of course, they've got a wonderful showroom. Roger eats off the floor. It's that clean. 4505
I'm going to
Highway
spread out
39.
my Halloween candy and just kind of
Yeah.
eat off the floor there. That's what I'll do.
Snickers off the floor.
Just have it x-rayed first. And then, but go see him, 4505 Highway 39 North. Of course, you can give him a call. This number's easy to remember, 601-693-COPY. Everything to do with document management they do. Of course, I've got a Purvis business machine at my restaurant, and I know we've got several around the station here. I think everybody uses them.
So
It's
we can vote
best
more
place
than
to go.
once for Purvis Business Machine.
Many times. That's right.
There you go. I love it. Purvis Business Machines right there on Highway 39.
That's right. Service, not excuses, since 1979.
Did want to mention, too, about absentee voting. This is the deadline week to vote absentee for the November 7th general election. The circuit clerk's office is open daily from 8 to 5 for absentee voting and will also be open this Saturday from 8 until noon to accommodate those unable to come in during normal weekday working hours. Now, absentee ballots are available in the old courthouse. As precinct locations cannot be changed and moved in the middle of an election. So, but all 82 counties will have that opportunity for you to vote absentee, and they will be open this Saturday from 8 until noon. So, for whatever reason, if you're going to be out of town Tuesday, for work, or you got some kind of a surgery plan, whatever it might be, just be sure that you vote absentee. They will be open for a few hours
At
on
the
Saturdays.
old courthouse.
At the old courthouse.
And not a school.
Yeah, and not
Okay.
a school.
Well, I'm confused already. Okay. Whatever. Old courthouse.
Because is the move into the new courthouse done yet? Do we know?
Yeah, I think it's.
I thought they were still in the process of
If
doing
only
that,
we
so-
knew a mover and we could ask.
No, that's a sore subject. I shouldn't have brought that up.
If only you knew the mover who got the
I
contract.
have no idea who that would be.
That's
Support local.
I can give you a number to call if you like.
Fine.
It's
Call 'em
1-800
right now. Let's call them on air.
It's
and see what they
1-800 and starts with go.
say. Go to the courthouse.
Go to the
Okay.
courthouse.
Yeah, that's not what it is.
No,
Right.
obviously there's not a move complete because you're going to the old courthouse
Yeah,
to do the
exactly.
circuit clerk is still there.
Well, exactly. They have to leave some stuff there because you can't
Yeah.
change it in the middle of an election.
Sure.
And I
Although
can
you
tell
could
you, I know
change it if you're having a school. Okay. What-
Donna Jill is going to be so thrilled when this election year is over.
Oh, November 8th, she's like
yeah.
celebrating.
I know.
Happy hour.
Yeah.
Yep. Why not?
Well, at least that day that's over, but then you got to certify everything. so.
But aren't we glad that she takes good care of us here in Lauderdale County? Her
Absolutely.
staff.
Unless there's a runoff with the governor race. And she's like, no. When will it ever end?
Yeah, we talked about that several weeks ago, that is a possibility.
All right, so for gubernatorial candidates, we have, of course, Tate Reeves, Republican.
And you have
We got
Brandon
Brandon
Presley.
Presley. He's running as
Yeah, he's running as a Democrat. Now,
Democrat.
Gwendolyn Gray is technically still on the ballot as an independent, even though she dropped out. They had already printed the ballots
She's
before she
dropout.
dropped out.
so conceivably she can
Quitter.
get votes. Yeah.
So by Mississippi law, those votes will still count for folks.
Gotcha.
So not
Okay.
saying that it's going to go to runoff, but there's that slim
might just
possibility.
happen.
so the possibility is in place.
And we could vote. I think it's the Tuesday after Thanksgiving. So
All right, let's go to the phone lines. We got a caller on the line. Good morning. Welcome to our show.
Welcome. Thank you very much. I just wanted to. There's an event happened in history on this day, and it's pretty well ignored.
Well, let's talk about that.
Well, in
October
19
31st.
In 1941,
October
the
31st.
first U.S. Navy ship was sank.
Oh, okay.
It was sank off the Iceland shore by a Nazi submarine.
Now that's. I hope Senior Chief has listened this morning because you will have beaten him to naval history on this day.
And there is the Kingston Trio on YouTube has.
They weren't on that boat too, were they?
No.
I'm just kidding.
Swim road.
The Kingston Trio sang a song and on the YouTube.
Yeah, it's on the
They have
YouTube.
a picture of the ship, and as they are singing, the crew's name is scrolled down.
Oh, okay.
It's and it tells the story really well. So if you're interested in the story, they do a good job of telling it. And
Excellent.
It really memorializes the men who died on that ship.
Wow. So there you have it. Now that was October.
The month before Pearl Harbor.
That was before. See, now we always think about Pearl Harbor as kind of the pulling the trigger on this thing, but we had a naval ship sunk in the Atlantic.
But they kept it quiet because I think they knew Pearl Harbor was coming and it was going to be a lot bigger news.
Oh, you think they knew then? Huh? You subscribe to the fact they knew that Pearl Harbor was coming.
Yes, and they wanted to be a big splash for the public to be motivated to begin that war. So they kept this quiet.
I know that England was really begging Roosevelt. I know that Churchill was really begging Roosevelt to get in it.
Yes. Well, I just thought that'd be something interesting.
That is
Absolutely.
interesting. I appreciate you bringing that up. We always enjoy, sharpening our history swords and kind of getting a little bit more familiar with what went on.
Well, I learned about it when I picked up. I like the Kingston Trio folk music, and I picked up an old tape somewhere, an old CD somewhere.
Yeah.
And it was on it, and that's what. And then I kind of looked it up to see what was going on.
What's the name of the song they sing?
The Kingston. It's the Reuben James.
The Reuben James. That's it. The Reuben James. Now that rings the bell. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Very good. Thank you for that, sir.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
All right. We have cultured, educated listeners here on this show.
That's right.
That know stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of cool.
Unlike us.
Unlike us.
Neither cultured nor educated.
Morons.
You don't know nothing.
What a maroon.
Oh, well.
Oh, man. We're having a good day here. We want you to be part of it. Anything else on your radars this morning, guys?
I was reading a story this morning with Halloween being today that Americans will spend $12.2 billion on Halloween candy just for today.
12.2.
But here's the thing.
I'm not going to spend that much.
You said billion?
Billion, but here's the problem.
Wow.
The I guess the little fun size, serving size
It's
of
not
candy.
fun. It's not fun.
They're,
okay.
But they're saying they're getting smaller. And I'm
Yeah.
like, so we're going up on the prices, obviously. And so inflation has officially hit Halloween, too. Which
you
I don't
wonder
think
why
that's
we're the
something-
fattest state.
So I don't know why they just started this year, but it's probably started the last several years.
The good news is that it's a great plan there that while your wallet is getting smaller, so are you because you're eating less candy. So
That apple's looking pretty good right now.
What? No, it's not. Come on.
now you dip it in some,
$12 billion.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. We don't have an obesity problem in this country.
None whatsoever.
That's a lot of money on candy.
Hi, I'm Wilford Brimley with the Diabetic Association.
Diabetes.
diabetics.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I did buy a bag of those little squares. They
The
were
tiny little squares.
They were kind of small.
Yeah.
You're sitting there trying to
Can't even open it.
Trying to open the little
Come on.
thing. Yeah. It's like,
I got
You burn about
and I can't open the
17,
candy.
18 calories trying to open this thing. Yeah. Well, anyway.
so if you were just curious,
Hypothetical.
if you were to get Halloween candy, what would be what you would like? What candy would
For
be
me,
your favorite?
you
What would be
mean?
your favorite?
What would I buy so that when I wouldn't give it to the kids, I would have in the house?
If you were going to receive it, what would you like to
Reese's.
eat?
Reese's, of course.
Reese's
Reese's,
peanut butter
Reese's
cups.
it. That's it.
Peanut butter cups are number one.
That is fantastic.
But I like a Snickers, you know.
I'm in the Snickers and that area when it comes to.
What other area is there besides?
Yeah, I mean,
is
when it
there
comes to, like,
is that a
chocolate
whole
covered-
area? I mean,
Well, I mean, I do like
the category of Snickers.
I do like Mike and Ike's as far as the other kind of candy.
I don't even know what that is.
Oh, the little chewy little.
It's got to be chocolate.
They look
I mean,
like pills capsules.
nice.
I just put them in my pill tray.
Take 2 of these. Yeah, you'll be fine. Call me in the morning.
Doctor said take 2 of these at bedtime.
Got 2 Mike and Ike's here. I just like that kind of stuff.
It comes in a little green box. Says Mike and Ike. Yeah, Mike and Ike.
Okay.
It's good. It's good movie candy.
I don't know what y'all were like as kids as far as trick-or-treating. You might have been privileged. I was not. My receptacle for trick-or-treating was really a grocery bag, just kind of the top rolled over.
Yeah.
It was just back then they had paper bags for your groceries. And so we just Mom would get a paper bag, so.
Yeah.
My decoration on my bag said Winn
You
Dixie.
decorated it?
No, the decoration said Winn Dixie or
I was going to say you decorate your Halloween bag.
no pumpkins.
We
no
had arts and crafts before we went out.
What fun in the
Yeah, I
Burke
know,
household.
right?
Yeah.
Here's some glue and glitter if you
Yeah,
want. Otherwise,
no.
you go. Oh, yeah.
We did the same.
Why don't I get the candy in? I get a little paper bag. So it's we were brown bag kids.
Of course, but you can fit a lot more in a brown bag than you can in one of those little plastic pumpkin
I know it
thing.
fills up and starts
I felt
over.
sorry for the other kids. That's all you got.
A little pail.
In fact, we used to take them home and then load out the candy and then go back for more. We did. I'm serious. We would go
You
for
double
hours.
bagged?
Oh, yeah.
Wow, that is
We would have
hardcore.
mounds. Yeah. We'd do it.
Now you were when you were a young child, you weren't in Europe yet.
Well, no, I started in Europe, but in England until I was 7. And, they didn't do a whole lot of trick-or-treating.
No, I
It was
wouldn't
kind of a
think
different
so.
thing there, but they did do it in the little neighborhood that we lived in because my father, being an American, kind of started that tradition. There were a lot of kids there, so they kind of had fun with it. But when we moved to the States,
Did you hear what the Frasers are doing? They're starting this little.
They're giving away sweets.
That's what happened. The Yanks come over here and they start changing our traditions.
Right. That accent evolves along that. Yeah. Anyway, whatever. Right. Ridiculous.
Ridiculous. Absolutely. Oh well.
None of that.
It's a great day here at Mornings Meridian. We want you to be a part of it. What's your favorite candy if you want to share with that? Or what's your favorite Halloween memory? Or you may not remember any Halloweens. I don't know. Maybe you just didn't do it. Maybe
It's Mardi Gras you don't remember.
That's the one.
That's a holiday.
I knew it was a mask-wearing event.
I don't remember any of those.
So that's
Heard
what.
about 'em.
So that's what you got to do to get those beads.
That's what you got to do.
Yeah.
Mornings in Meridian. We're going to take a break. We'll come back. We'll think about it. But give us a call. 601-485-9191. Love to hear from you. There's a blast from the past. Jim Stafford. Hattie.
Charles was looking at you like, what the?
I thought it was Caddyshack. I was like, I never saw this Caddyshack. What's
That's
going on?
Caddyshack.
It's Halloween. It's Halloween. So.
Could be.
You had
Caddyshack.
to have lived in the 70s.
Well, I did, but
Okay.
in 1980 I was 11, so
You had to live in the United States in the 70s.
well, for part of it I was.
Okay, you had to live in the southern.
Oh yeah,
United
whatever. Leave it alone.
Narrow it down, narrow it down,
Okay.
narrow it down.
All right.
Oh, man, that's a little something spooky for the day. How about that? Mornings in Meridian, glad you're out there. And, of course, we want you to be part of the show, but not just yet because we're going to have a guest here just shortly. But first, let's talk about our sponsors and those who know how to put a roof on your home or business.
Not only know how to do it, but they are ready to do it. How do we know that?
Because they're ready to roof.
Indeed, they are ready to fix your roof. Just give them a call today, 601-573-1150. Of course, you can also make an appointment online at ready2roof.com. They're Meridian's only award-winning local roofing company, certified as Master Elite Roofers. Sounds pretty impressive. It is. Only 2% of all roofing contractors in the nation have qualified as Master Elite certified. And, of course, Ready to Roof has. So you can call them today. I know, exactly.
Yeah, that's great.
Call them today for your free estimate, 601-573-1150. Of course, they also have financing options available for that low monthly payment for your brand new roof. Give them a call. Check them out online as well at ready2roof.com.
All right, Rob has been busy inviting candidates to our show. So, Rob, who do you have on deck today?
Well, we're 1 week away from the general election, and this morning we've got a candidate for Justice Court Judge District 1 here in Lauderdale County. We've got Jesse Coach Hill Jr. joining us this morning, and I guess we say, Coach, good morning.
Good morning, guys.
All right, I think we got you on there. Try it again.
Good morning, guys.
There we go. There we go.
Hello.
Hello.
Just got to push a button. That's all. All I got to do is push a button.
Just push the
Got
button.
one job.
Appreciate you coming by this morning.
My pleasure.
Absolutely. Of course, he's running for District 1 Judge Court in
Why?
Lauderdale County.
Why are you doing that? You're going to make a lot of people mad.
Yeah. You know, somebody had to do it, right?
Anyway, tell us a little bit about, well, before we talk about the race you're running for, tell us a little bit about your background, where you from and what you do.
All right, so I'm a 02 graduate from Meridian High. Went to Southeast through the 8th grade. Got a chance to play football. Did some grad assistant work that kind of rolled into coaching part-time. I've been in the Guard now for, the active Army Reserve in the Guard for 22 years now. I got in when I was 17. It'll be 23 pretty soon.
Wow.
And, you know.
That's more than reserve. That's like career.
You're right.
Pretty much.
Basically.
That career reserve.
That's right. You know, and just had opportunity, you know, to go to law school, and I saw this this seat was coming up. And I thought it's something I might try to do. You know, I was one of those kids who had a lot of speeding tickets when he was a little younger. I was back when you could still get a hardship at 15 or 14 or so, and so I had a job, and you know, I had to drive at night getting back from work, and you know, I had a couple run-ins with the cops. So you know. I was fortunate, you know, to have a judge that didn't throw the book at me. I still got a chance to go off to school. And so, you know, I want to be able to come back and try and serve my community, you know.
Very good. So you said law school. Do you have your law degree?
I graduated in 2020 during COVID, but at Mississippi College, right over there in Jackson.
Fantastic.
Oh,
I you know, there's a lot of people that have graduated law and they put their faces on billboards. Are you going to do that? Is that
No, I'm not interested in that at all.
and something about chasing ambulances comes to mind. I don't know, something like that. But.
Injured?
Injured.
I love it.
But no, you'd rather do something much more noble. So your name says coach. So what do you coach?
Yeah, so a lot of church rec leagues and stuff like that, but I also coach D-line, bowling, and sometimes girl volleyball and bass fishing down at Camp Shelby. It's
Really?
it's a great opportunity to work with some young people and try and help them, you know, turn their lives around. I'm very fortunate to have that opportunity. You know, you know, in the primary, I'm a victims advocate, trying to help victims of abuse not be re-victimized, mostly by the families of the people that they initially got into it with. You'd be surprised.
Have mercy.
It's not the person that you get into it with. You know, sometimes it's those friends and family that want to come after you. So we just try to, you know, help people walk through that process. And Whether it's been doing that, whether it's been going down to Hurricane Katrina or flooding in the Mississippi Delta in the Guard, I always had these opportunities to these jobs where I can give back, and I see this as another one of those opportunities. So I'm trying to do that. I've been blessed. A lot of folks don't get a chance to go to school free playing ball. A lot of folks don't get a chance to roll right into a job after school, because of the Guard and because of the Army. And so, War on Terror was kind of hot and heavy back then, so we went right into having an opportunity to work. And I know what it's like to be from this area, and with job prospects not necessarily what you'd like them to be, and maybe you're just trying to go out there and make it. Maybe you're having a little dispute with your neighbor. If you're having that, I want to have the opportunity to listen to you in that court where most people can go. For $3,500 or lower is generally the limit, and if you're having that disturbance with your neighbor, I'm hoping you'll give me the opportunity to hear you out and see, give a common sense opinion on how the thing ought to get resolved.
I can certainly see where a law degree would be helpful in that regard.
Yeah, I would think it would. I would just tell you, we used to have just Jerry William Thompson, truck driver, school teacher, had the most common sense about anybody I ever know, and he was one of those judges. Again, I had a lot of speeding tickets. He was one of those judges that helped me out when I was young and dumb.
Well, what were you driving?
He had a lot.
So
what were you driving?
I had a 1971. This is from 99 to 2002. I had a 1971 Chrysler New Yorker. And
360.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mopar.
And so I had a job between here and Philadelphia, and you're good going there, but when you're trying to get home before that Meridian curfew at night, and put my foot on that gas trying to get home for grandmama or mama whipped my behind. So
right.
The old blue lights got me a couple times.
Well, it seems like mama and grandmama would like you to not get pulled over.
Well, it's 6 1/2 dozen others with them, but
now, Highway 19 used to be a pretty bad place for people getting pulled over.
It was in the.
I know for teenagers in the 70s, it was kind of a big place to meet the person in uniform.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's I like the New Yorker though. I like that.
Yeah.
Big old 360.
Gangster white walls, baby. Didn't have the TV antenna in the back, but did what I could.
And so you like 75, 80?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Something like that. I don't recall.
That's good.
Yeah, I love it.
That's a Bill Clinton answer.
It depends on how the definition of fast is.
Exactly.
Yeah, I got you. Well, that's great that you want to serve your community and serve as Justice Court Judge for District 1. I'm just thinking, you're going to hear all kinds of different cases. I'm just wondering how do you weigh all the information and make a decision? Because you're at some point in that process, you're going to make one happy and one sad.
Oh, sure. So Mississippi rules of evidence govern, what you can consider. But the good thing about Justice Court, most of the time, your judge is also going to be your jury. So he ain't just got to worry about the law. He can look at the facts, however it is you can come in there and present them. So, if there's a hearsay rule and you heard, my friend said, well, you didn't hear it. Judge usually can't hear that. But if you got some other kind of way to introduce that, I can still hear it as a fact, to try and see, not necessarily as a matter of law, but as a matter of, well, was this something on your mind to make you think that was going on? It's something I can consider. And so, it's just one of those little tricks that, we had opportunity to learn them. I want to go out and, serve the people that gave me opportunities.
Very good. Plus, about automobiles, so if you have
No doubt.
If you have a shooting at the Sack and Suds, you'll know what a positive traction rear end would be like.
Oh boy, there we go.
My cousin Benny, I love it. It's my favorite movie.
See?
Oh no! Wow,
That is my favorite
we went
movie.
there. It's his too. I mean, what's the connection?
Were you serious about that?
He's been through law. You don't go to law school
Without
since
looking at
1993 and not see that movie.
That's right. That is
That's
right.
a fact. But yeah, yes. Are you sure that was a what is it? The GM model, a Buick Skylark?
Yeah.
No, it was a Tempest.
Pontiac Tempest.
Mint
It was a
green.
Chrysler New Yorker with a 360 with white walls.
And metallic mint green paint.
Well, very good. What are some of the things you've learned out there on the campaign trail from citizens you've talked to?
You know, you'd be surprised just how engaged everybody is. And I mean, some scruff, rough, and, you know, maybe they're just coming back from work or something, but you would think people wouldn't care. No, they'll come right up. Hey, I think this about the school issue. I think this about, you know, juvenile court. I think this about us having a new jail. I think this about, you know, domestic disturbances. People have these issues that they want to talk about, and I've tried to listen to you, Lauderdale County. I viewed this as an opportunity more just learn about what my neighbors care about, and I have been inundated pleasantly with what y'all have to say, and you know, I'm certainly going to try and take that to the bench with me. You know, judges get to call balls and strikes. I don't make the rules. I do try to make my decisions in accordance with what those are, and you know. I am very proud of our community. I'm proud of all the people that chose to run for district court justice, justice court judge in District 1. You know, a lot of great qualified. I thought people really cared about our community. It was nice to see. It was nice to see. Everybody in Lauderdale County, you know, we hear a lot of bad stuff, but you know, obviously, there's some folks out here trying to do good for our county. I'm proud of y'all, and hopefully y'all will give me that opportunity.
Well, that's what this is all about. And a week from
Week from
today,
Yeah.
they'll have that opportunity.
Right around the corner.
You know, you mentioned a little bit about juvenile court, and you know, we used to have a juvenile detention center here, and
Right.
you know, I know this may be outside the purview of what maybe you'd be dealing with, but what is your thoughts from a legal aspect? What we need in our community in regards to our youth?
Well, so that's a policymaker thing on one end in terms of how many resources we can get. Then that's and that consent decree crap from the Department of Justice also comes into that. But I would tell you just generally, we need more opportunities for the youth, period. And whether that's work programs, whether that's community outreach through churches, whether that's trying to have more ball fields or whatever it is you can do. Our youth, they aren't the future. They're right now. If you're looking at most of the instances of crime and things like that, a lot of them are youth involved. And while the county court would have the purview over youth offenders,
Right.
You know, depending on what crimes they commit and how they do it, you know, that initial appearance is, if it's outside the city limits, going to generally be a justice court judge seeing that. So you'll certainly see them on the front end of it when trying to determine, hey, well, this 13-year-old who's been accused of this really terrible crime, do they have probable cause whether or not to keep this guy or gal? And you know, that's something I've taken great consideration to. Is I know, hey, there aren't as many opportunities for kids to do stuff as there were when I came through, and then we don't have some of the same tools to punish those. You know, and do you want to make that leap from, hey, we need to find somewhere outside of the county to keep them, to, man, are we really going to send this teenager, maybe younger, to you know, to the county jail? And so those kind of things you get to consider. Obviously, it's something that's been heavy on my mind, and you know, I can just tell you that I'll be fair. I'm not going to over incarcerate our youth, but by the same token, you know, we've got some youth that are making some adult decisions, and so, you know,
Well,
they might need some adult consequences. But again, you want to just hear it out and be fair to everybody.
all right. It's Mornings in Meridian. We're visiting with Coach Hill. He's running for Justice Court Judge District 1, and we'll continue that interview in just a moment. We'll take a quick break, pay a bill or two, and come back. What do you say, guys?
Let's do it.
We'll be right back. They were just sitting there. Said Michael Jackson, Thriller, play me today.
Might as well.
There you go. Mornings in Meridian. So glad you're out there. Welcome back. It's Mornings in Meridian. We have Rob in the house. We've got Charles in the house. And we're visiting with, Jesse, Coach Hill, who is running for District 1 Justice Court Judge.
Absolutely.
And we've got a caller on the line. We're going to get there in just a second. But you mentioned you've been in the reserve, the Army Reserve.
Yes, I'm in the Army Guard now.
Army Guard. You been deployed? Gone over to the sandbox?
Iraq, Afghanistan, Saudi Arabia, and Kuwait.
Wow.
Is that all?
That's
Man, wow.
a couple trips to Europe, but those aren't deployments.
Oh, man. Well, we lost our caller, but anyhow. If you have a question for the candidate, you can call back, 601-485-9191. So yeah, you went to Iraq, Afghanistan, Kuwait. Said Kuwait?
Yes.
Oh, goodness. Okay. And then what was the fourth?
Saudi Arabia.
Saudi. Okay. What do they have you doing over there?
So Saudi Arabia was mostly just support some of our special guys doing special missions. But in Iraq, I was a tank company XO, platoon leader, QRF platoon. We were in the thick of it, So at one point we were escorting convoys, and then at one point we're doing quick reaction to attacks on the base. So if someone messed with us, we go try and find them and take care of that. But that was a lifetime ago with 20-something-year-old Jesse Hill. About 80 pounds lighter, and $180 super wet.
Speeding tickets, probably.
Just so you know, Jesse's got some moxie. He can handle himself. There you go.
Used to be able to.
Oh yeah. Well, of course, you're running for District 1 Justice Court Judge. So, just anything else you want to tell our audience before you get away from us today?
Hey, folks, you want to have somebody in that office who's going to, make a common sense decision, who's committed to listening to you. It is literally your court. It's the small claims, you don't have to have a lawyer. You get to come in there and present your side. You're having a problem with your neighbor, their tree limb fell on your car, they're making a disturbance in the evenings, and you come in and present your case. And I'm going to listen to you and try to do a common sense decision. I think that that's the quality you're going to want. That law degree will certainly help, but I tell you, it's more about common sense. And I have had the opportunity to be a plaintiff and a defendant in that court. I know what it is like to not have much, and you need someone to listen to you. And so I want to pay it back and try to be that guy for the people of this county. Because remember, it ain't just going to be the 9 to 13,000 voters in District 1. You get to hear cases from all over the county. And those of you who are in District 1, you're going to make that call. Anybody gets pulled over in the county, you get to make the call on, who's going to hear 25% of it. Mm-hmm. You get to make the call on who's going to be able to authorize those search warrants, those arrest warrants. If you're concerned about, the cops just coming into your house without enough probable cause, then hey, maybe give that goofy kid with the speeding ticket named Jesse Hill a chance, to
hey, folks,
listen in there. I'm going to try and make sure they aren't coming in there without the right ducks in a row.
I want to be in front of you if I got a ticket. That's
right.
All right, let's take a phone call here. Good morning, caller. You have a question for the candidate.
I do. How y'all doing this morning?
Hey,
morning.
Good to hear you, sir.
Great. Listen, I hear you have a law degree. I just want to make sure you are a member of the Bar Association, are you not?
Not in Mississippi. No, sir, I'm not. I graduated in 2020, and I've not taken the Mississippi bar.
Is there a reason for that?
Because I went straight into COVID with being an inspector general in the Army and didn't need it for that. So, it's one of those jobs you got to have you didn't need to be in the Mississippi bar because you weren't practicing in Mississippi. You were doing investigations all over the world. And now I'm coming.
Do you plan on sitting for the Mississippi bar?
I probably will. So the thing is this: you don't need it for a justice court. I will probably sit regardless of whether or not I win the election. But I want to get in there that first year and see what my caseload is like. I think that my opportunity there is to sit and learn from the people that are already doing it and to see what's going on there. Of course, if I don't win, you're probably going to see me sit for it in the summer. But should we win, I'll make that judgment. Sometime I don't know, around spring break, I'll make the call on whether or not I'm going to sit for it this summer.
Right. I guess it's just in my opinion, I heard you say several times you had graduated from law school and you were going to use that knowledge, which I think is good. But it makes you think that if you're not a barred attorney,
Oh, sure, yeah.
there's some reason why you didn't have it. Have you had it and got kicked out for?
Oh, no misconduct or anything like that.
Okay.
So I graduated in the middle of COVID year, and so I started working in March of 20. And so real reason that I didn't get it is because I was making enough money that I didn't need it. To be honest with you, I just went to work trying to pay off those loans,
and besides, caller, he's been in the Army 20 plus years. He's sat at a lot of bars.
Ain't no doubt about that.
Okay. And when you retired out of the Army, what was your rank?
So I'm still in the Guard. I'm a major right now.
Okay, good. Okay,
yeah, that's a
great.
good question.
Great.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, great. I appreciate your answers. Thank you, and good luck to you.
Yeah, thanks for the questions.
All right. Well, that's about it here for this this segment. We appreciate you coming in there, Mr. Jesse Coach Hill. Your Honor. Possibly.
Major, Your Honor.
Major, Your Honor.
It's my pleasure. Hey, folks, regardless, we can get out and vote November 7th.
Absolutely.
Good message. All right, Fox News next. We'll be back for some more on the other side. Anybody next hour, or is that tomorrow?
That's tomorrow.
Okay, we got more guests tomorrow, but we got more show after this.
Yeah.
And good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Mornings in Meridian. It is the second hour of the two best hours of local live talk radio. Roger B. along with Rob Atkinson.
Good morning. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, Charles Frazier.
Happy Halloween.
Boy, he does that good. That's a good one there. You could work in a spook house.
Yeah. I think. What do you call this?
Little spooky in here.
Yeah, always a little spooky.
So yeah, it's this also the conclusion of the month of October. So boy, we move right into Thanksgiving month and then Christmas.
No, next month is Thanksgiving. I mean Christmas month.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, I think November is Christmas month.
Is that really what it is?
Thanksgiving is just kind of a little rest stop on the way.
Okay.
Hey, big thanks to Jesse Cope Chill Jr. for coming by to see us this morning. A very impressive interview, and wish him the best.
Great guy.
In the general election. Yeah, nice to meet him, and wish him the best out there. So
Definitely impressive.
Wonder if he'd be interested in, should this not work out, would he be interested like being mayor or something?
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool, I think. Yeah. Police chief.
Police chief.
I was in stereo. That's fine. Both thinking the same.
A good public servant, in other words, what we're saying.
There you go.
Sure.
There you go. I'll tell you what, I'll tell you who serves the public well, and that's the good folks down there at Premier Paint and Body Shop. We've always told you, keep this number handy on your phone. That's 482-PAINT. When you have a scratch or when you have a ding or if you have a crash, there's a place that can make your vehicle look brand new and get you fixed with the right parts, and that's Premier Paint and Body.
Of course, they'll give you a free estimate and work with your insurance company. Their results are like new. And, of course, they have a lifetime warranty on all their work, conveniently located right next to Johnson Dodge on Highway 39 North. They open 8 to 5 Monday through Friday. And, of course, as you said, their number, that's easy to remember, 601-482-PAINT. 601-482-7246 if your spelling isn't so good. Danny Shelton and the crew has been leading it for a long time, over 90 years combined experience among that hardworking, dedicated crew. And, go see them because if you need any auto body work done, they are the premier paint and body shop here in town.
Hey, what can you say about that?
There's only one place to go. That's what I say about it.
Premier Paint and Body.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it looks like our boy Brett Favre is back in the news.
It's the volleyball.
Looks like a federal judge yesterday dismissed Brett Favre's defamation lawsuit against fellow retired NFL player Shannon Sharp, ruling that Sharp used constitutionally protected speech on a sports broadcast when he criticized Favre's connection to a welfare misspending case in Mississippi. They ruled that Sharp, a former tight end, was using basically using his constitutional rights. So whenever he made the comments on the sports broadcast, that's back when he worked at Fox. Now he's over at ESPN. But yeah, that suit had been filed back in February. Favre was saying that the fellow Pro Bowl Hall of Famer made erroneously false statements about him on the Fox Sports talk show Skip and Shannon Undisputed. The case was moved to federal court in March, and Sharp left the sports show in June. Of course, the welfare spending on that show, Undisputed, took place after extensive news coverage about allegations of Mississippi's largest public corruption case. So Mississippi Auditor Shad White has said that from 2016 to 2019, the Mississippi Department of Human Services spent, guys, this total just continues to blow my mind, more than $77 million from the Temporary Assistance for Needy Families program, money that was intended to help some of the poorest people in the U.S. And, of course, you know where a lot of those funds went. Allegedly, some of the funds were spent on a volleyball facility, court down at Southern Miss, where his daughter was attending there once upon a time.
Playing volleyball, I believe, at the same time.
So, but so his defamation case against Shannon Sharp, they've dismissed that. So he didn't. I don't think he really had much of a prayer there, but he filed it and it got dismissed. So on to something else.
I can't think of anything more noble than to provide opportunities for poor people to play volleyball at USM.
Yeah.
I mean, you get a scholarship, you get to USM, and you play volleyball. I mean,
we're not going to give you any cheese this week, but you can get a scholarship to
play volleyball.
Well, not even a scholarship. You can go. We'll give you a free ticket to go watch somebody play volleyball.
And you become a volleyball star. I mean, a good athlete, or make it to the Olympics, or whatever.
You go play professionally.
Opportunities for the poor.
We have a professional volleyball league. Spain, probably. Yugoslavia.
Yeah.
Professional volleyball league. What would that look like? We got let's see.
Bunch of tall women. I mean, that's what it would look like.
No,
In those little tiny shorts.
Men. Wait a minute. Let me explain something to you.
Okay.
Men play volleyball too. Did you know that?
I did know that. Yeah.
I just know which ones you've been watching.
Well, they play field hockey too. What are you talking about? What are you suggesting? All right, whatever. Let's move on, shall we?
There is actually a professional league in the U.S.
Really?
It is Athletes Unlimited volleyball. Is the only indoor women's professional volleyball league in the U.S. 44 athletes compete to become champion.
44 of them?
I guess so.
And I bet some of them were raised poor.
And then there's going to be
In Mississippi.
there's a pro volleyball federation that's coming in 2024. It's going to be like a whole big league coming
Wow.
up. So
Big leagues.
PVF, would that be Pro Volleyball Federation?
I guess so.
All right. I can't wait for the PVF season.
Right.
It is. I would tell you what, the
fantasy.
sport of volleyball is just exploding. I mean, it has become a big deal. All our area high schools.
And it's all due to Brett Favre.
It's all due to Brett Favre.
And the court that we have now in Southern Miss.
And Tate Reeves was involved in it too, by
They
the way.
did it too.
Let's
It's all
not forget Phil Bryan and his contribution to this.
Yeah,
This
he
is
did a little bit too. Diverted some funds.
doing it well. You say diverted. There you go again. Just really making it black and white. Let's say that there was a
Redistribution.
a redistribution of redefined assistance to
moving here, moving there.
redistribution of redefined assistance to the needy.
Okay.
There you
Redefined assistance.
go.
You don't need any. We're going to assist.
And as you
Volleyball
were
players.
saying, It was not all the $5 million was from that fund. As you said, some of it is that way it was.
Yeah, because it was more than $77 million in total from that fund. But of course, some of it went to the volleyball facility, and of course others. I mean, like I said, there's a lot of moving parts where all of the funds went. But
People can only eat so much cheese. You
It's
can't.
very binding. You don't need a whole lot of cheese anyway.
You have a plunger.
But of course, that
My
whole
Uncle Buck.
but the whole welfare scandal thing has been a big talking point on the Brandon Presley trail on his campaign.
He's
really
worked hard to tie Tate Reeves into
tried
that.
to take Reeves to that. Yeah,
And
so
I think it's been kind of fallen on deaf ears. Is that right?
yeah, I think so.
Which some of the funds would go to help people with deaf ears, but anyway,
They wouldn't hear about that.
they wouldn't hear about that.
Okay.
So, speaking of Brandon Presley, he's making some momentum here in the final days of the campaign. What do you think?
I don't know if it's going to be enough or not. And I say that because I go back, guys, to the primary between Chris McDaniel and the incumbent. Just slipping my mind here.
Mm-hmm.
But you saw how that race played out, and a lot of people thought Chris McDaniel had a real solid opportunity to beat Delbert Hoseman in that particular race, and we saw how the numbers panned out there. It's just, is Brandon Presley going to have enough to get over the hump or not in certain areas of the state or not, especially in our area? I think probably in the northern part of the state, Presley will probably do very well. The coast is always kind of iffy or not, but Reeves, a lot of people, you either like him or you don't like him. So,
Well, I think it all comes down to it's the economy, stupid.
Yeah.
How are we doing overall as a state? Now, locally, we've got some issues here, and the same issues that we continue to have. And why aren't we attracting these big industries? But I think overall, the state is thriving, and I think that was the Tate handled the COVID debacle very well. Took a page from Ron DeSantis, certainly, but he didn't have to do that either. And so I think that people remember that, and you look at your kind of current economic situation, once again, not so much locally, but certainly throughout the state, and I think that people will attribute that to Tate Reeves. So I think that's going to push him over the edge.
They are going to have their debate tomorrow night, by the way, too, is Reeves and Presley. It'll be at 7 o'clock tomorrow night on Mississippi Public Broadcasting.
I probably won't be watching that.
Yeah. So we'll see how
the
that
recap.
So yeah, WAPT TV is going to be hosting the event at their studios, and that's going to be their one and only debate. Will be tomorrow night at 7, 6 days away from the big day. So
Well, I'm wondering if it'll be one of those where you have to kind of listen very carefully to hear the moderator, or if it'll be be professional debate.
Yeah, I mean, it's the local debates and statewide debates, I think, are a little different. Well, when you have like these last two presidential debates on the Republican side, the reason it's mass chaos is because you have so many folks on stage. When you have just two people on stage, it'll be a lot more organized.
That's a good point.
So
yeah, how do you have a debate with like 8 people? That's just
and then you have in this last
Yeah.
debate they had 3 moderators, and it was just everybody. It was just it's too much.
melee.
Too much.
Let's take a phone call here at Mornings in Meridian. Our number is 601-485-9191. Love to hear from you. Good morning, caller.
Morning.
Hey, welcome.
Listen, even if the Republican candidate is not your favorite candidate, everyone that I know should go out and vote Republican, because that's the best hope we've got, because the other side's even worse. So,
and also there's a concern about the amount of money that has come from outside Mississippi for the Presley campaign, which shows you that the Democrat Party is very much interested in trying to blow up some red states.
well,
Not blow
all you
up,
got
but
to do
blow
is
up.
look at Georgia. All you got to do is look at Georgia. They done Georgia last time. So, but yes, I mean, I'm in the same boat with some people. The Republican is not my favorite candidate, but the other side's even worse. So, every aspect of our life would be better off with a Republican for the most part than a Democrat, just because of the philosophy and the pro. You were talking about redistribution under Bryant. I mean, Obama did redistribution for 8 years with the executive orders. So.
And I guess the question, and Charles made reference to this, and that is what is it about this last 4 years with Tate Reeves that you really did not like? What's the real?
Well, it's a flag, I'm sure, with a lot of people,
and
rightfully so, because they should have let the people vote on it. People forget actually how that actually ended up getting passed is one of our local senators. He was not the only vote, but he was the last vote they needed to suspend the rules in the Senate, which once they suspended the rules, it was over at that point in time. The other part was just preliminary vote. I asked the guy, I said, well, what happens when you suspend the rules, like in school? Well, I don't know. I said, that means there's no rules, okay? When you suspend the rules, that means there's no rules. When you have no rules in government, you're in trouble.
Yeah. And that was I remember talking about that whenever this happened. There was the vote that allowed it to go to the floor for discussion, and that was it was, I think, a 1-vote margin that allowed that to happen, or to suspend the rules. I don't know the exact details, but I know it came down to very, very few votes.
Yeah. Well, what they did, they suspended the rules, which when they done that, based on the Mississippi Constitution, as I understand it, that was supposed to go, if you applied the rules, done the right things, that was supposed to be decided by the people.
Yeah. Well, now by definition, then, if that was a problem, then you would think then the voters would have rose up and said to Delbert Hosemann, "No, you're not going to be our lieutenant governor," because he would be the one in charge of that.
Yeah.
And they reelected him.
You're right. Now some of those that voted in other parts of the state was not so lucky. That being said, listen, it's over. They done it. They shouldn't have done it under the darkness of night and weekend, and the people should have got to vote on it, because, I mean, you're just doing away with history. I mean, we're doing that all over the country.
Well, I think we should do like the NFL. I like the way they're coming out with these original uniforms and wearing them, some of the... So we can just go back to, every once in a while, cycle through the...
do a throwback flag?
A throwback flag. I mean, yeah.
Well, like 10 in the history.
You've got freedom of speech. But now, when you lose your freedom of speech is when you're working for someone and you're on their premises, and if you don't do what you're told, you get fired.
Yes, that's true. Yep.
Okay?
And I think folks don't need to base their entire vote on that one issue. Is look at the grander picture, I think, too.
Well, I agree with you, but needless to say, I mean, it was an important issue. I mean, if you don't, I mean, where do you stop?
Yeah. Well, I guess if that is the only, if a person assesses and say that's the only thing I've got against Tate Reeves, then maybe that's not enough to say, oh yeah, I'm going to Democrat in office.
Well, I'll just be honest with you. I think Tate Reeves, on a personal level, has gotten too big for his britches personally. But in saying that,
that's a good Southern term right there. Too big for his britches.
Well, but I'm still going to vote for him because the alternative is not good. So
yeah, just vote for him and help him buy some bigger britches.
Well, we know we got 4 years and he's gone. So.
Maybe he could take some of that welfare money and get some bridges.
Take some welfare money, get some
the volleyball court.
He needs bridges.
People can say what they want to about Bryant being involved. He was governor. But last time I checked, the House and the Senate has to confirm on the spending of money and approvals of things. So there had to be other people. I don't know who all those other people may be. There had to be other people involved. Yeah. The governor can't just spend money just because he wants to.
Yeah, that's a very good point. And since you brought since you brought it up, I'm going to ask you a trivia question. Do you remember a store around Mississippi that was a place to go buy our jeans? It was called Mississippi Britches.
I do not.
That was exactly, you had it down in Hattiesburg at the Cloverleaf Mall. There was a place, and I think there might have been one up in at the mall in Jackson. But
sounds like before my time.
We'd get our clothes at Mississippi Britches.
Yeah.
Get some Levi's with bell bottoms on the bottom, and they fit good over your roller skates.
You'd be hard pressed to find somewhere in Mississippi to buy something that was made now here.
Yeah, right.
You'd be lucky to find some shoes unless you went down by the police department. I don't even know what they look like.
Okay.
Hanging over the
I just had to throw that at you there.
I appreciate that, but
yes, sir.
You would know you've got the age on me, so
see,
wow, yeah, love it.
I wasn't around then.
I got the age, and you got the looks. I tell you, it just ain't fair. Life ain't fair.
You're right. Probably wasn't even wearing blue jeans then. So,
okay.
Anyway.
All right.
Hey, listen, guys. Have a good one.
Appreciate it. 601-485-9191. Yeah, Mississippi Britches. That's where we got our jeans. Okay. Good morning, caller. How you doing?
Good morning, guys. I just want to say I have to agree with the last caller. When Tate Reeves did what he did with the Mississippi flag, that I called over there and I talked to one of his associates, and they said that it was veto-proof. And I said, by one vote. I said, you don't mean to tell me you couldn't have thrown the weight of the governor's office, pressure on these senators, that one of them couldn't have changed their vote? And he could have vetoed it, and at least had gone to a vote where they had to step up and either vote for it or against it. Mm-hmm. Okay? But he did not veto it. He signed it into law. Okay, so I swore I'd never vote for him again, but I'm going to have to hold my nose and do it because I agree with the last caller that if we get a Democrat in there that's beholding to who knows who outside our state, that there's going to be things that we don't want to happen.
That's your line.
So I'm going to have to vote for Tate Reeves, even though if he'd had a quality Republican opponent, I'd have had to vote for the other guy, but he didn't. And and there again, of course, Delbert Hosemann is the same way. I mean, he had 16 Democrats that were chairman heads, and I just don't understand that when we have supermajority. I agree with people I've talked to. Democrats have to go over in the corner and sulk because they have no voice. And why we're giving them a voice when we don't have to is beyond me. And I don't care really for either one of them, but I'm going to have to hold my nose and vote for them. And I think that's the only way to do to keep, control on spending and all the other liberal policies that a governor can put into place.
Hey, would you do me a favor?
I will.
Would you have your wife get a picture of you holding your nose while you're doing the filling out the ballot and send that to us?
I think that's a great picture, Roger. I think I'll do that.
Send me,
I'll hold my nose and I'll smile at her and hold my nose while I'm voting.
there you do that. Send us that picture. I want to see that. That'd be great.
All right, I'll do that, Roger. But anyway, guys, I think we're just going to have to,
Yeah.
we're going to have to do it. I mean, it's just the way the cookie crumbles this go round.
Yep.
Yeah. I think you spoke well. I mean, you have to ask yourself: is that one thing that is so bad? Is that worth putting a Democrat in office to?
Absolutely.
To say,
that's what I had to. That's what I had to weigh myself on, and I said, no, I cannot vote for a Democrat that's beholding to all these out of the state, big mega donors. That has financed his campaign, and he's got to pay him back if he gets elected.
All right,
no doubt about it.
We got a Fox News break. We appreciate you calling.
Thank you, man.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate y'all.
Uh-huh.
Bye-bye.
We'll be right back. You, Rob, you afraid of those ghosts?
Dogs and cats living together. Mass hysteria.
Oh, you've seen some stuff, I tell you.
Bill freaking Murray, man.
Love him. Love him. I tell you what. Welcome back, folks. Yeah, little Ghostbusters. What are you afraid of, Charles? Are you afraid of ghosts?
Not really. I've never seen a ghost. You can't be afraid of something you've never seen, I don't think.
Yeah,
well, maybe you can be.
Nobody's ever looked at you and said, you look like you've seen a ghost?
Maybe. I don't know.
I think that may be my Halloween movie for the day, Ghostbusters.
Is that going to be it?
It's been a while since I've seen it.
See, just playing this made you and maybe several other listeners pull that out of the shelf and put it in the old...
I mean, you could always go, because what is it, the Friday the 13th, the Nightmare on Elm Street.
Or maybe Halloween.
Michael Myers, yeah.
No, I'm not a horror person. I just, something funny. Make me laugh. I don't want to sit there and see
not the big horror
gory
thing
blood
either,
and
right.
junk like that. No.
The Shining.
That's a good one.
Red Rob.
Mornings in Meridian. Glad you're out there as we are now. We have just the last 23 minutes of the last show of October. You want to call in, you're welcome to do that. 601-485-9191. Lost in all the news out there is that the United Auto Workers reached a deal to end strike.
Oh.
They confirmed yesterday that it had reached a tentative deal with General Motors to end their strike. The other two major By the way, folks, there are other things going on in the world.
I was about to say. I was wondering.
I know you turn on the news
Israel.
and as bad as it is over there, and as awful as I think war is, and the terrorism that has gone on over there, and the carnage, we still do need to look at other things going on.
Yeah, you're right.
So, yeah, auto work, gentlemen, they're going to end the strike. Two other major automakers targeted by the union strike, Ford and Stellantis, also reached deals with United Auto Workers last week. The tentative agreements with three companies each call for a roughly 25% raise over 4 years for salaried workers, improvements from pensions, and the right to strike plant closures.
So who's going to pay for that 25%?
I was going to ask the same
Oh,
thing.
I guess the price of new vehicles made in the U.S. are going up 25%.
All right.
There we go.
Charles is the winner. Let's
you.
tell him
Thank
what
you.
he's won.
What have I won?
You won.
It's not a brand new car because we can't afford one anymore.
You've won a new electric car.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, no thanks.
Just no place to plug it in.
Take a moped instead.
I mean,
They make mopeds anymore? Those things you
Mopeds.
used to pedal, you know what I mean?
No, they have electric bikes now. They have the
They do. That's
electric
right.
assisted
Yes,
bikes.
of course.
So you don't need the actual combustion. there.
Right, that's why we're the fattest country in the world. Instead of actually pedaling, which is not that difficult, now you just kind of sit there and wow. Okay.
So make America skinny again is your campaign ad, right?
Yeah, no, not at all.
I tell you what,
Wouldn't win anything.
maybe a little less mayonnaise in that chicken salad. That might
Whoa,
help me out.
hey now, come on now. All right, maybe a little. Yeah.
Anyway,
There.
so glad you're out there. There's some other news out there. Rob, anything else on your docket out there that says we need to talk about it?
Not a whole lot right now. Well, weather, we do need to mention this too, folks. Tonight might get down to freezing, so we could see those overnight lows tonight below the freezing mark. They are saying tonight, I know the highs today are going to be in the upper 50s, but that north wind is going to be gusting up to 25 miles per hour, so it's going to be a little cooler than what it feels like. But yeah, it looks like there is a
When's it
hard...
going to snow?
No.
What?
Milk and bread.
There is a hard freeze warning for counties north of here, Neshoba, Kemper, and Sumter.
Oh, no,
And,
school closures.
I know,
Shut it
right?
down.
Just kidding.
Lauderdale County is will be under a freeze watch later on tonight. So yeah, those temps are going to get down below freezing tonight and tomorrow, and right around that mark on Thursday. So just be aware of that. So
All right.
so trick or treating is going to be. I was talking about this with one of our other on-air guys down the hallway. We were like, "Oh, the kids are going to be out trick-or-treating in the cold tonight." He said, "Yeah, they got all their costumes. They're going to be covered up by heavy coats, so they won't be able to show off their costume tonight." So.
You say, "Oh, hi there, little one. Here's some Kit Kat bars." And you say, "Can I have some hot chocolate? Have some hot chocolate, please?"
I like a Kit Kat. I mean, that's actually a pretty good one.
Well, yeah, that would be a good one, but
Right,
you know,
not the sweet tarts or something.
yeah, the story was the hot chocolate.
Mike and Ike's.
Mike
One
and
of
Ike's.
those.
You know, don't judge a man until you put a box of Mike and Ike's next to your your day stand there when you're watching TV on your recliner there. You reach over there and open up a box of Mike and Ike's and start nibbling on them. You don't judge a man until you tried that.
Okay. No, I won't. Fair enough.
You know, you can make all the snide remarks you want, but until you've opened up a box of that, or maybe some, I don't know.
I'm just not interested in the Mike and Ike's. I got to tell you.
Well, about a Sour Patch Kid.
No.
Two Sour
I ain't
Patch
doing it.
Kids.
All right.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Don't know why that voice was
Yeah,
appropriate
it
for
was
that.
kind of disturbing. Yeah. Just backing off a little bit. Like, wait a minute.
It was on this day, gentlemen, in 1941. I guess it was before the winter kicked in.
Yeah.
That in 1941, Mount Rushmore was completed after 14 years of work on.
So the actual final little chisel was done today. Is that right, or was it when they opened it? I
they must have. Well, I think there was a little discussion. Said, "Look, I've got just a little bit to rub off of, Abraham Lincoln's head there, and then we'll be done." No. The ribbon cutting is set for the 31st. We're going to have
You're done.
Just
Fine.
Don't. That's right.
Now it's perfect.
Perfect.
Okay.
I don't know. I've been to the back of the mountain range there in the Black Hills, and they're not completed. There's just faces. There's nothing else. I mean,
They don't have the back of them on there?
no, there's nothing.
That's a little disappointing.
Can't see the back of their heads or nothing.
Man.
Have you been to Mount Rushmore?
No.
It's pretty cool. You should do that. Put it on your bucket. It's a nice thing. How about you, Rob?
Nope, never been that way.
Yeah. Just,
Do you have a bucket list?
Not really.
No, neither do I.
Well, I had a bucket list, but it got holes in it.
I got a hold of my bucket list.
That's it. Let's see what else happened on this day. Well, happened to be that. This kind of serious and close to home. Today in 1918, the worst global epidemic of the century. Influenza has been spreading around the world since May, but before it ended in 1919, it did kill 20 million people.
So what's the relevance of this
And
though?
We called, well, it was on this date, evidently, yeah, good point.
It was just
It's
the
been
year.
spreading around this world. So
Okay, right.
before it ended in 1919, we go to twice as many as the world. I don't know. It was just announcing. Maybe they really noticed it. Maybe they finally
We
actually
finally realized it. Fauci came on and said
I get it.
Wear a mask.
That's
It's Tony.
yeah, Mr. It was actually Tony Fauci's grandfather who came on there and said,
Grandfather.
"We've decided that the Spanish flu should be the name given to this because it came from the Spanish." Anyway, yeah, it was a big Spanish flu thing.
Okay.
So
Would they call it the Hispanic flu nowadays? What do you think?
Latino influenza?
Oh, maybe. Could be.
No, they would have come up with some neat little name that we always use now. We still use for the flu that came through here and the Chinese flu that came through here.
The China virus.
It's COVID. Yeah, they probably had some other name for it. But anyhow, that's some little bit of things from history there. So, all right. It's up to you guys.
What's up, Dustin?
I'm at the bottom of my list.
That's it. That's all you got.
601-485-9191 if you want to call in. Love to hear from you.
I was actually yesterday was able to catch an interview right here on ALT with Tim Scott. He did an interview yesterday with Clay and Buck and took some pretty serious shots at Nikki Haley. I don't know if you've seen a lot of the advertisements on Fox and Newsmax, more along the lines of the DeSantis campaign, because let's face it, guys, since the war has started, the presidential campaign has really taken a back seat in the headlines right now because they're about to have another debate in Miami very soon. I think it's going to be in a couple of weeks. But, yeah, Scott took some pretty serious shots at Haley yesterday. Of course, they're both from South Carolina. So, but, and, of course, DeSantis, the new ads that he's airing on television right now, basically attacks Haley in her, I guess, relationships with China back when she was governor of South Carolina. Of course, there's a lot of audio clips of her saying, "We just love China and our relationship," blah, blah, blah. So just paraphrasing there. But so, yeah, there's some shots taking place among those three candidates right now. And, of course, with Pence dropping out over the weekend as well, so that field is narrowed just a bit. But so it seems like Scott, Haley, and DeSantis are starting to take shots at one another now. Just those three candidates. Of course, the other ones kind of haven't heard a whole lot from them.
Chris Christie.
Yeah, Chris Christie being one of those. So.
Yeah, and you know, I think that Nikki Haley probably, with all of the international events going on, and I just read an article about Kosovo heating up again, so the Balkans may be, you know, that may be the next step. And if that happens, if we've got three kind of major conflicts going on around the world, then well, how does that position anybody without a lot of foreign policy experience? And, of course, Nikki Haley has the most in that, so she may have the target on her back. You know, they may be looking at her and gunning for her just because of that.
I mean, because really, I mean, let's face it, with Vivek Ramaswamy, you really haven't heard a whole lot from him.
And we heard a whole lot from him.
I mean, we heard a whole lot from him but it just shows you that
someone hit the mute button.
The presidential campaign has really taken a big backseat right now as far as the national media is concerned. Going
and probably
here,
nobody more thankful than the candidates themselves,
right.
Because they were like, "Man, this thing's a year out, and we're having to go this hard at it."
Yeah,
because you think about it, we are a year away from this election. So, my goodness, I bet they are glad that it's kind of thank goodness that Hamas attacked Israel.
Let's go on vacation.
Now, folks, don't misquote me on that. That was awful that they did that.
Yeah, looking at the next, trying to see when the date is on that next debate. I know it's going to be in Miami for sure, but I'll try to look
Doesn't
that
Trump
up
have
here.
a trial in Miami coming up?
Well, it's next week. The next presidential debate is next Wednesday, November the 8th. It'll be in Miami. Yeah, right there at the Performing Arts Center there in Miami-Dade County. So, of course, that's a county in Florida that actually went red this past time in the governor's race there in Florida. So, and of course, that'll be, I guess you would say, quote unquote, home turf for DeSantis, I guess, so to speak, being in the state that he is currently governing.
Well, it may mean that the audience is, kind of has some bias, but who's moderating it? Does it say?
I have to look on that because, Fox did the first one. Then what Fox Business was, I would say, somewhat in control of the last one because
nobody was in control.
Because you had Stuart Varney and one other reporter, and then what was it, the Telemundo or whatever reporter there as well. But yeah, look and see what channel that's going to be on.
Let's see who gets
the
looks
like Fox. It looks like Fox might have it again. Maybe let's see
who gets the UFO question again. Is it Chris Christie?
I know, that was so bizarre.
I think Chris Christie would be appropriate.
Oh, mercy. Mornings in Meridian. I tell you what we'll do. We'll check that. We'll take a break, pay a bill or two, and then we'll come back. Stay tuned. We are having such a great time here on this day of Halloween. Trick or treat. about some good old Eagles here? Witchy woman. All right, sparks fly from her fingertips there. That's just crystal jail. Don't worry about it. No problems. 601-485-9191. Roger along with Rob this morning.
Yeah?
And Charles Frazier's in the house.
Yep, over here.
And we're at the end of the month here, guys.
We are.
It's it.
Yeah, I do have details about that Republican debate on November the 8th. NBC News will be in charge of the third Republican debate. It will be moderated by Lester Holt, Kristen Welker, and Hugh Hewitt. And so far, these are the candidates who have qualified for the third debate. There is a certain amount of criteria they have to meet. There's three deals here. You have to meet a donor criteria requirement. You have to meet criteria as far as polling goes with national polls and state polls. And you've got to sign that loyalty pledge that whoever ends up becoming the Republican nominee, that you'll support them. Right now, the ones fitting that criteria are Christie, DeSantis, Haley, and Ramaswamy right now. So, yeah, Tim Scott still pending on him meeting all the criteria. So right now he's not officially qualified for what I'm seeing here, but I imagine he will. But from there on down, the rest of them have not. Trump does not qualify because he still does not sign the loyalty pledge. But right now he has not competed in the first two anyway, so you would doubt he would compete in the third one. So, but yeah, be November the 8th next week. So
the loyalty pledge, I think, is just stupid. Now, what do you have to do? What does it compel you to do? You just say, I'll support him?
I
So do
guess
you actually have to go out and support them? You just feel like,
yeah, it says
whatever.
The loyalty pledge is to support the eventual Republican nominee and not to participate in any non-RNC sanctioned debates for the rest of the 2024 election cycle, is what it says on here on the criteria. That's the fourth part of the criteria on if you can be included in the third debate. 70,000 unique donors, including 200 donors in 20 or more states, is one part. 4% in two national polls, or 4% in one national poll, and 4% in two statewide polls in Iowa, New Hampshire, Nevada, or South Carolina. So that's the criteria, and Tim Scott has not quite met all of that criteria just yet. So because polls change all the time, especially these statewide polls. Yeah. So we'll see how that kind of rolls out. But so you see, with Pence dropping out, that narrows the field a little bit, but still you got a lot of voices on that stage. So it's probably going to be more mass chaos. You got three moderators, and it's probably going to be the same thing.
That's my point about calling it a debate.
It's not.
If you want a debate, here's what you do. You ask a question of the candidates, and you allow each one to give their minute answer to that and their case for that question. Go down the line. Rotate the beginning so that you're not always one at the last saying, okay, yeah, I agree with so and so,
right?
And just keep going through, and then let everybody. And you don't have audience. Well, you could have audience applause if you want to,
sure.
But you don't have them talking over each other. Everybody just, okay, here's the question to you, here's the question to you, here's the question to you, and now we're a new question. Let's start now with the next person. Blah blah blah.
Right.
That's a debate.
Of course. And if you don't, well, I mean. I don't know if that's a debate because you're not really debating anything. All you're doing is stating your case, your answer to a question.
So I guess the next
round that's almost like an interview. It's a setup.
Yeah.
But so how do you facilitate that sort of debate? But
not
what
all
they
these
have
candidates
not done,
get the same question. That's the problem.
And that's fine though. That's the way it goes though.
Yeah.
That's just not fair, but that's the way it is. Nothing's fair in life. And but what they're not doing is controlling them. And they need to cut the mics off. You're talking out of turn. Guess what? You're dead. Well, not you're dead, but your mic's dead, and we might turn it on in 3 minutes, or what? You've got a penalty. You're not allowed to say anything for a certain amount of time, and then you go stand in the corner if you keep doing it.
There you go.
With a dunce hat on.
In other words, just be in charge. You're saying.
Well, exactly.
Just be in charge.
Treat them like the children that they're acting like.
And guys, it was very interesting. At one point during this process, there was a lot of talk, and as we said, Miami, Florida is going to be hosting this third debate. Tuscaloosa, Alabama was talked about at one point, the University of Alabama hosting this debate. So that'd have been right down the road from us. I mean, we could have taken a road trip and went to the debate,
Is Alabama still Alabama?
Alabama's still Alabama.
Alabama still Eli Gold.
There you go.
So that would be a fun trip.
Yep. So
maybe get a press pass.
So yeah,
maybe get like some Rotten Tomatoes to throw or something. Yeah. Okay.
What do you hit Ramaswamy's hair for?
Racist.
Whoa.
Just a racist.
So there you go. So yeah, I thought that debate was sneaking up on us. I thought it was in November, but yeah, it's next week. So there you go. Next, it's next Wednesday.
Yeah, busy that night. So.
But
Watch the recap.
But Tuscaloosa did not get to.
No, they did not. They were
Okay.
talked about at one point of getting that third one, but obviously it didn't shake out. So
I think we could fit them all here in our studios if they wanted to come.
We could, right?
Yeah, I think that'd be great.
Okay.
Just kind of line them around there. And,
I mean, we couldn't fit the coroners in here.
Yeah, it's true. There were too many of those.
yeah, but they're coroners.
Oh.
It's an important role. What do they do again?
They sign death certificates.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You don't want Stella Rita coming to your house.
That's right. No, I don't. Two people I don't want to see.
I told all the candidates that came on our show, I said, rule number one for me to support you is do not sign my death certificate. But I'd have to. No, you don't. Don't sign it.
Don't do it.
No, I don't want. Yeah.
Well, if you're dead, I mean, it's really not a big deal. Why would you care?
Yeah, that was the point. That was the joke.
Be
don't
nicer to the EMTs. That's who you'd be nice to. Hey,
made you some nice coconut cream pie there.
Exactly.
Thank you for responding.
My good friends.
All right. Well, there you have it on the debate. It's going to be in Florida. It's going to be NBC, and it's going to be hopefully less chaotic than the previous.
And it'll be interesting to see how NBC News asks the questions, too, because we've had Fox on debate number one, Fox Business on the second one. Now you get one of the big networks that is going to be in charge of this one. So we'll see how the questions are going to, how they'll spin some of the questions toward the GOP candidates. So,
sure, with a distinct non-GOP bias.
Bingo. So we'll see how that all rolls out. So
now, Trump's still not in this one?
No.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
He's going to court.
And then some.
Right.
Yeah,
37 court cases.
I would love to be there, but I got a court date.
Yeah, I'm kind of busy.
Yeah.
Zoom him in,
That's it. Zooming from the courtroom.
And I'm still up by
From the
30 points,
jailhouse.
you know.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
isn't that amazing, though? All the court cases, and he's not at any of the debates.
keeps going up.
And, and he just keeps going up. So
I think that's great. Roll on.
Well, of course, looking at the past debates, I'm not surprised it keeps going up because everybody else just looks so ridiculous.
I know.
You know? Staying out of the fray.
Well, speaking of politics and local politics, who are we looking for tomorrow on our show?
Tomorrow we'll have Nick Lisi on at 7:30. Of course, he's running for Justice Court District 1 here in Lauderdale County. And then Wayman Newell, incumbent in District 2 for Supervisor, will be on at 8 o'clock. Of course,
Wayman, yeah.
Of course, appreciate Jesse Coatshill Jr. for coming on earlier this morning. Of course, he's running for that judge seat there in District 1. Very impressive interview, and wish him the best as well going down the road. So,
Absolutely, yeah. So thanks for all who put their hats in the ring.
Yep.
But tonight is Halloween. Be careful out there trick-or-treating. Watch for kids and watch for their adult kids.
yeah, those two.
Watch for their adult supervisors. And hopefully we'll have a safe night in Meridian, Lauderdale County, and East Mississippi, West Alabama tonight. And then we'll see you on All Hallows Eve. All Saints Day is what I meant to say.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Until then, this is Roger B. saying so long, God bless, and bye local. Anything else, fellas?
Bye.
All right. See